think the story is far from over. So I'm excited for football, but I always enjoy the summer watching these guys, even if they always tend to break our hearts.
Yeah, let's talk about these Rangers here, who were on a 3-game winning streak. I think that was Thursday or Wednesday. We beat the Padres 11-0. AJ Griffin. What more can I say about this guy? He is the lone positive spot in this starting rotation. 4-0 right now. Then Napoli hits a walk-off homer, and Joey Gallo hits a walk-off homer, a 3-run bomb that hits the pole. But kind of what's your thoughts on these past 3 games and what we're seeing?
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. Man, AJ Griffin is almost becoming the number 2 pitcher in the rotation. I mean, it's just incredible, man. He really went out there and went the distance. I think that was huge to get the bullpen rested. They have been struggling a bit lately, or at least before these last couple of games. But just, man, he has been dominant, 4-0 this season. I mean, what a pickup. And, Cashner also had a very good game last night. It was unfortunate he couldn't get the W like a lot of these guys. I mean, you should have a couple wins that he doesn't have. Cashner should have about 2 or 3 that I can think of off the top of my head. There's some of these guys who, the bullpen is just Dyson in particular, who has given it up. Napoli, I'm not worried about him, man. I think he showed that he can turn it on in a minute. Literally, home run in the 8th inning to make it a 2-1 game, cut the lead in half, and then home run in the 9th to win the game. And then, he was 0 for 5 last night, but he did have the pop-up on the 2-2 count, which could have gone either way. The sack fly, excuse me. It could have just been a strike 3, then you're sweating. Gallo has more nerves, but he got the tied run in. And Gallo, man, I got to apologize. I know you and me have kind of roasted on him in the past year or two, especially me. So I want to apologize. I really did think it was a Chris Davis situation where he was going to be a superstar in this league, but I just thought he might have had to go to a different team to find it. But I don't care what the averages say. I know he's been drawing a lot more walks. I know he still has the strikeout issue, but he has significantly decreased that, and the home runs are just incredible. So, I mean, I take back anything bad I said about Gallo. I know he'll slump because it's inevitable. It will happen. But you just got to remember this little tear that he's been on this last 30, 40 games.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And these are not just like small home runs, just over the fence. These are Giancarlo Stanton type home runs where it's almost out of the stadium type home runs. He's got the power. He is hitting smarter. And I'm excited for Joe Gallo. The only thing to me that is a big question mark is what do they do when Adrian Beltre is back and healthy? Yes, Gallo will get games whenever Adrian Beltre is resting, but what do you do from there? How do you handle that? And I think that's a tough question.
Very, very hot take about this. Honestly, man, like I said, Gallo, what he has been doing is amazing. But there has been a guy, and I've came on this show and told you his name about 3 or 4 times. I've wanted him at the trade deadline the last 2 seasons. He's a young pitcher on the Rays, Chris Archer. My goodness, the other day, 12 strikeouts, 0 walks, unreal, young. The Rangers, I love what the rotation is doing, but ultimately, I want him, man. His contract is coming up on dead. I want him. I don't know what it takes. I don't know what it takes, Profar, whoever you name when he comes back. But I'm not saying Gallo. I'm just saying I really want to point this out because I feel like it would just help so much. But for the Gallo situation, I think they just have to really – Gallo can play in the field a little bit. I think they just have to, move him around, and you gotta take it as you come. I want Beltray back, man. I know these guys are on a win streak right now. I know they look a lot better, but that's the one thing that really gives me a lot of hope that. And you look at the American League, we are really lucky right now that this season everyone just sucks. I mean, everyone sucks, man. If you look at the three divisions, the Rangers would be in almost first place in the AL. Is that the Central with the Twins and the Royals in them? It's just incredible that the Rangers are about 2 or 3 games out of a wild card spot. I mean, I looked at the standings the other day and I just couldn't believe it. Yeah, you don't have to worry about catching the Astros right away, although I think it can happen if you just keep playing like they've been playing lately with the Beltray coming back and with Lucroy coming up. I mean, there's just so much upside. It can't get worse than what it's been. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and you're right. With a lot of teams struggling, we are still in the thick of things. Now, we're not like 100% in the mix, but we are right there. Like you said, none of these teams are like a clear-cut favorite in winning this division or winning the conference or anything. So that is the interesting thing about this year, that we're still in the mix. And you have mentioned Chris Archer, I know, on a lot of occasions, and Profar is done.
Yeah,
as much as I want to continue to say Profar is gonna come back up, why keep going through the same circle?
There's absolutely no space for him anymore, man. I have faith in Napoli. I think his veteran presence has been big so far with Beltray gone. That's the thing. I think I know there's been a lot of cries for Napoli, and I mean it's frustrating, but I think he was that game, man. That game, hitting 2 home runs like that, I think he's gonna try. I don't think there's any space for Profar, man. I'm sorry. I would love to put a deal together. Profar, Dyson, whoever else, draft pick. Give me one pitcher. I hope they can work something out. I don't know the fundamentals on what would have to happen, but yeah, Profar has to be shipped if healthy. I mean, there's just ultimately no space for him, man. We're getting younger with a couple of veterans on the team. I don't see him in the future anymore. I don't.
Yeah, I think we're at a crossroads where we either bring him up again or just trade him. And I think at the position we're in right now, it's a trade. And whatever you can get, honestly, I think whatever you can get. Got to give a shout out to Chuck Town Frank in the building. First time listener. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for tuning in. So, and he asked, is this a baseball show or just the rest, just like the rest of the lineup? And like I said, we talk Rangers pretty much every show. Diehard Rangers fans. So appreciate you for tuning in. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for jumping in on the chat line. All right, so with everything that has gone down this week, I think the walk-offs have probably been the most exciting. But I'm also excited about Elvis Andrus.
Yes.
Last year was not a fluke. As much as it was put on him that, hey, it's because you had a bad year, or hey, it's because this happened, because you had a horrible game against Toronto. But he is playing top baseball. And he is playing what he's worth. That's what we all wanted at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that is one thing. As everyone knows, I'm not a Bannister fan. I guess I'm way too hard because I'm not a Garrett or a Bannister fan. But I will say that the only thing that Ron Washington did not do right in his tenure with the Rangers was let Elvis Andrus hit the ball, man. There was so many occasions where you're trying to get him to bunt or just force a walk. Bannister came in day one, and since that, you look at the number comparison, these last couple years of his career, he has just been really hitting the ball, man. I mean, he is honestly, I think if it would have been like that from day one, he is a 320 hitter. He sees the ball so well, and he's been getting picked off a couple times, which that's been a thing that has always happened to him just because he's so aggressive. I wish he would focus on that a little more. But, man, you just got to be so happy for him. That's my guy, man. That's him and Beltre. I think that's what we want to see, man. Everyone says we want to see Beltre lifted up, but people forget, man, Elvis has been here a long time, man. And I want to see him hold it up just as much as I want to see Adrian hold it up.
Yeah, definitely. I think Elvis Andrus has just been the really the bright spot and the continuous bright spot. There's people off and on that have done things, but he's been continuous in what he's been doing. Now, I'll have to also say, Chew in the DH spot. Wow, did not see that coming. But he's got a 368 on-base percentage. Also, his batting average, trying to locate it here, he's hitting 252.
I believe it's around 280.
He's hitting 252 right now. But that was a great move. I was a little bit against it, but that was a great move, moving him at DH.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. He's been hitting it pretty well too, and I think in like the last, maybe not last night, but the 2 games before that, I believe he was on base 7 times total in 2 games. Which, I mean, you get on base, good things are going to happen. And the one down thing has been these 2 walk-off games, man. 1 run going into the 7th, 8th, 9th inning, unacceptable with the offensive lineup that we have. Unacceptable, but. I mean, how great is it that we are so close to 500 and almost everyone, with the exception of Elvis and Chew, virtually everyone has struggled all season long. I mean, it's not been 1 or 2 batters. It's been Lucroy, Odor, Napoli. I mean, Mazarez came on at times, but he slumped at times. I mean, I think you just have to be ecstatic in the position that we're in with no Beltran, with everyone struggling. I think this win streak has potential to get to 8 or 9, but the thing is, we're so early on. Win the series, win every series, win 10 of 11 series, you're in first place. That's all you got to worry about.
Yeah, really. We just got to basically just put our heads down and keep grinding. Don't listen to the outside noise. Just keep doing what we're doing. I think that's what it's going to come down to. All right, so before I let you go, Cashner, Martinez, and Perez. Cashner has had good outings. His record doesn't show it. But Martin Perez and Nick Martinez, I don't know what to say about these guys. I think I like them as people, but just as pitchers, being consistent just seems difficult for them to do. I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah, they're great people, but I would get rid of Nick Martinez. If I had a decision, Nick Martinez would never suit up as a Ranger again. How many chances, does a guy need?
Yeah.
Let him move on with his career and see if he can find success elsewhere. It happens, man. It has not worked out in Texas. Perez is difficult. Unless you get that archer or that another starting pitcher, you're gonna have to keep him in the rotation. Unless you can find some, I don't know if Chi-Chi. I don't know if he's ready to come up into the bigs, but you give in-house people a chance, or you make the move, man. I don't know, man, but Perez has been struggling, and the walking is the thing that really, I think, pisses a lot of people off. The walks.
I agree. All right, man. So, it's always great having you on. I wanted to also, I forgot, I want to get your thoughts on the playoffs. What's your thoughts on the playoffs going down right now?
I'm going to run through it real quick for you. Boston wins at home, Game 7, even though, man, shout out John Wall and Beal. That was a great win last night. But, I think their season ends. And then I think the Cavs are just going to storm through Boston and sweep them. I like Boston, but, there's just no match for the Cavs right now. Cavs are just hitting on all cylinders. And finally, 3 years later, we get to see the Warriors and the Spurs. The Spurs have let us down the last 2 years.
Exactly.
But, no, the Spurs are not going to have enough. I am going to give them 2 wins just because I've so much respect for the organization and Popovich, but no, their season is coming to an end. I don't see any way that they beat Golden State. Even if Durant re-injured himself,